Howdy folks, Jacob McVie from here, and I'm actually here with my boy Justin Michael. He's actually going to be joining the call here in just a moment. Justin Michael has two YouTube channels. One of them is just Justin Michael, the other one is Foraging with Justin Michael. And there are some things that he would like to discuss. And he would like to show some of the things. I've actually made a slide show for him really quick so that we can actually go through some things that are being seen in outer space. And not a lot of people are talking about it. There's a couple individuals that mention it here and there, but not like I do. And everyone should be paying attention. All right, folks, got Justin Michael on the line with us here. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you doing, my man?
Doing good. So you wanted to do a quick little interview with me, kind of sure.
That's right.
Got some questions on some stuff, so go ahead and shoot your shots, brother.
Well, I mean, I don't have any notes in front of me or anything like this, but this is something that I've had on my mind. I don't even know how many months, how long, but watching your videos, you always seem to point something out. I'm not going to say every video, but quite often. And I always think to myself, like, oh, I really want to do like a video. I honestly, it's kind of selfish, but I want your information documented on my channel a little bit because I think it's that significant and just really not being spoke on. So why don't you just, however you want to, just give me your best run through description, thoughts, like whatever, speculation, opinions on the little friends that you point out in your videos, and then that's it. I'm gonna be quiet.
All right. Yeah, I can do that. And honestly, I'm honored and flattered that you want me to be able to do one for you to have on your channel. So I'll send this to you once we're done, and you can post it onto yours and edit it how you wish, and then I'll actually post this entire video up on mine so people can
I'm not gonna mess
back
with
and
it.
forth. So
I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm just gonna upload it. But
all right.
what one last thing, you said that you're flattered about. I want to say there's more than one thing that you're regularly speaking about that I think not just the masses, but the conscious community itself really needs to direct energy and attention to. So
For
um,
sure.
I do. I think that you're on the hot trail of more than one thing that needs to be discussed and have energy put into it. So that's what I'm trying to do, honestly. I'm trying to put energy into the things that you're trying to show us. So,
All right. Well, thank you. I'm honored that you feel that way. So we'll actually start off here. This is Lasco C2. This is a satellite image. Now, see this right here. This is an occulter disc. I've actually had some people comment that that this whole thing. Oh, this is just a CD with lights on. I'm like, no. This is a satellite. This is Lasco C3 actually. Excuse me. And if you notice this right here, this round disc, it's called an occulter disc, and here's the arm that actually connects over and holds the occulter disc in place. Now this little white circle is actually the surface of the sun. So this is off at a distance a little bit. So that way we can actually see coronal mass ejections that come out. Lasco C3 is blue and Lasco C2 is red, and Lasco C2 is actually closer up. And I've actually got some more images. We'll actually take a look at those, and you'll be able to see the difference. Now this right here, what we're looking at is actually this is a signature trail of some form of a craft. If you want to call it a warp signature trail, kind of like Star Trek, if you will. 'Cause, I mean, I'm relating what I'm seeing to movies and TV programs and things that I understand. Okay, and we have to understand that it's the same way in the Bible. When they were seeing things, they could only relate it to things that they could comprehend. So in the Bible, when they're talking about these huge thunderings and winds and stuff like that, it was from a spacecraft landing on Earth. The thundering and winds of God and the roaring and blah blah and winds that like from the wings of a dragon. You gotta imagine. Put yourself back 5-10,000 years ago, and that's the only thing they comprehended. So, and we do the same thing today. So that's how everything's going to come across. So this right here would be like a warp signature trail of some kind of a craft here on Lasco C3 or Lasco C3. Now most of my images, I actually have the date and timestamp, so you can actually go to these satellites and you can look these images up for yourself. I try to do that. Not all of them have that because I have to zoom in really close in order to really get what I'm trying to point out. But this one, most of them will have that in here. So once again, here's a warp signature trail. Okay. And then over
let me
here,
just point out, can I just say something really quick? That's just like amazing whenever somebody can show you something new that is just like so incredible to comprehend it and then say, oh yeah, you could go yourself and see it exactly like that's unusual. I just wanted to say that real quick. It's
Yeah,
unusual. It's
and
different
that's
from
that's
anything
that's one of the things that I do. If when you're watching my channel, I tell you every single time that I go to a different page, I'm like, okay, this here we're looking at the SDOs, the Solar Dynamic Observatory, or we're looking at SOHO, or we're looking at Space Weather Live. I tell you exactly where I'm at, so you can go and you can look for yourself. I'm giving you
Yeah.
the resources so you can go see. So this right here, we're actually on stereo ahead, chronograph 2, and actually a lot of the tools that I use you can actually find on ISWA. It's ISWA. ISWA imagery or something like that. If you just put in ISWA satellite or something like that, it'll pop up and you can go right to it. But and then all the different tools you can click on it. You can put in the dates. You can put in how many images you want to have on the screen. You can get up to, I think it's up to 300, up to like the current date. So like the current date and time, like being right now today, I can go backwards 300 images and I can watch 300 images. That'll usually take images about every 12 minutes. I mean, depending on the source, depending on the satellite. Sometimes it's 12 minutes, sometimes it's 6 minutes, sometimes it's half an hour, sometimes it's every 3 hours, and sometimes you get like two a day. So it just depends.
Yeah.
But this is Stereo Ahead Chronograph 2, and this is on January 11th, 2022 at 10:08 a.m. and 45 seconds. And here we are looking here. You can see right here is the occulter disk. Right here's the surface of the sun. And right here, you can obviously see we've got craft right here. And you can see the little bottom end where he would have propulsion, to come up, the way that I would envision it. And he's got friends over here. He's part of a pack, if you will, or part of a battalion. Okay. Now, one of the things I did want to draw attention to, again, I put things to TV series and movies and stuff. Not only do you see this large craft, you can clearly see there's a very sharp edge here, and it's nice and domed here. But look at this right here. This right here is a space station. You guys remember the Deep Space Nine from Star Trek? That's exactly what this is. It is tidal locked on this side of the sun, and you can only see it in this particular one. And I've actually got it. In fact, just recently I did a video where you can see there was a chronomass ejection on this side, and you can see the chronomass ejection literally going around it. It doesn't. It starts off like it's going to overtake, and then just completely goes around. So this thing has shields on it, so it blocks it from any coronal mass ejections.
It's so incredible just to see it there, but just to see. I mean, and I know you got other ones too, but just to see this, I just feel like this is important. Like I feel like I'm not doing what I should be doing if I don't spend some energy trying to get at least one more person to see that there's these things around the sun, and it's really hard to explain in any way that we should by the
Well,
way that we are
they're
told.
not just out by the sun. They're in our atmosphere, and I've got some of that to show you too. Now, this one here's another one that's up by the sun. This is on 94 angstroms of light. This is the Solar Dynamic Observatory, SDO. And now this is one of the ones I couldn't get the date and timestamp because I really had to zoom in the upper right corner in order to really get this guy. And I'll actually zoom in on this some more. So here you can clearly see him right here, and you can see his little trail behind him, his little, I don't know if it's a warp signature trail, I don't know, but this is a propulsion trail. And if you look at it, you can kind of see that it kind of goes in and out and in and out and in and out, like it's some form of a propulsion. And this is him right
Uh,
here.
it sure looks that way.
Yeah.
It,
Now here's
it looks amazing.
now here's another one. Stereo Head Chronograph 2 on February 7th, 2022 at 22:09:05. Now this is UTC time, which is basically universal time. It starts in England, right in London. So now here you can see all of these crafts here. I mean, they look like a crescent moon, but they're everywhere. They're all over the place. I mean, look at all of them. I mean, we're
I
talking.
never even seen this. I know you probably showed it, but I never seen this image unless I missed it somehow. But that's insane.
I probably showed this like maybe back in late February, early March. A lot of the stuff that I have saved, I show in video. So wherever the timestamp is in it, it's on. Within 2 weeks, I would have shown it. So, but yeah. So here you got crescent moons, and now here's the other thing. Again, try to understand this and comprehend this. Is there any religion that has a crescent moon in their belief system and their structure system?
Assalamu
Muslims.
alaikum, peace be with you.
Yeah, you've got
Yes, sir.
Muslims. Okay, and,
Yeah.
and you got to think, put yourself 10,000 years ago, and you see this craft that's like a crescent moon, and all of a sudden you're going to have this as part of you because you're going to worship them, and that's just how it goes.
Mhm.
So there's some crescent moons for you. Now here's another one, a whole bunch of them out here. Like, what is going on? Are they all heading over here to
Wow.
the space station? Are they? I mean, are we watching wars, Star Wars, so to speak. I mean, I don't know.
No, yeah, I think, in my opinion, that is what we're seeing. Something along those lines. We're seeing a
Yeah.
lot of activity.
Yeah. Now, the thing you got to understand too is that if you notice, you've got two here, and two here. So you've got three sets of pairs.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So you got
Always
six, but they're all over everywhere, and they go in different directions. I mean, some are going this way, some are going up, some are shooting up this way. I mean, they're all different angles. These are battle formations, and they're going in different directions. I mean, this is different movements, like, and they're going towards something. I have no idea what, but they're going towards something.
they got something to do. They're going somewhere and doing something.
Yep.
They can't be ready.
Now,
A lot of people, let me say something real quick, Jacob, if that's okay, because I just thought of something. A lot of people are going to see this, or probably a lot of people won't even see this on my channel, but however many people see this, the majority of those people are probably going to think that it's some kind of like reflection, or it has something to do with the satellite or something. So I just wanted to point out that these are always in like different spots, and that and I'm gonna wait, and I know you'll get into it, but there's a particular shape of some of the ones with the trails on them. These ones are always three sets of two going different places, different ways. So it wouldn't make sense for it to be some sort of like reflection or anything like that. It wouldn't make,
right.
to me, it doesn't.
Yeah, I've actually got. I don't know if I put one in on this file, but I've got photos of some of them where you can see there's some form of a glare reflected off of it. And these ones, they're done at different days, different times, and you have to understand. And if you were now where this could be dismissed, the only way that this could be dismissed is if there was a coronal mass ejection coming right towards stereo head. You would see a halo coronal mass ejection, so you would see the coronal mass ejection, the plasma coming off this direction, and then it wouldn't just be in sets in pairs, in three pairs. It wouldn't be that way. They'd be completely scattered, and they'd be positively hot charged protons all hitting the satellite at one time. So that it would literally look like snow just blasted all over the satellite.
Right. Random, random. This ain't random
Yeah,
or what?
those ain't random. Yeah, this ain't random at all.
No.
I
It
mean,
looks.
if you see this, if you know anything about aeronautics at all, you know anything about planes, this right here is a yaw. Okay, so these craft were up here and they were coming down this way. And a yaw, like if you've seen fighter jets, they can be flying nice and straight, and then all of a sudden just kick right over at a 90-degree angle, and they're flying on their side, but they're not turning. That's what they're doing. They're literally yawing back and forth. So they're yawing to go down. It looked like they were coming from here, and then they're yawing and going down this direction.
Incredible. It's
Yeah, here's another
incredible.
one. And then here's a whole bunch of them. You got, I mean, hell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 here. There's probably gonna be 9 in this group that's over here. There's probably 9 here. There's probably 9 here. I mean, they're all over the place.
Just, I never say this on any video that I upload or anything, but if you're watching this, just one time, share this around. I don't care if you even steal it. Well, don't steal it from Jacob, but I don't care about things being taken off of my channel, but this is Jacob's information. But I feel like energy needs to be put into this. I think as energy and attention gets put into it, more will be revealed on it. So
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
want
for sure. And the other thing to kind of explain that it's not a lens flare, or it's not a reflection. Look how far away these guys are, and look at how close these guys are. They're right in
oh,
front of the
yeah.
satellite.
I mean, it doesn't look like there's anything random to. I'm not sure exactly what they are, what they're doing, but it doesn't. It definitely, to me, does not look like there's. It looks like there is conscious thought, but like you could tell that something is thinking that's behind these.
Yep. Here's
I
another
don't
one on
know.
stereo head. There are a whole crap ton of them all in front of the satellite, and they're going in different directions. They're going all over the place.
Now, could there be like beings of light or something? Or I mean, to me, when I look at them, I think craft, but I also don't want to let like movie indoctrination and stuff lead me, because I'm just trying to wrap my mind around the fact that there's these ships or something, like could beings of light be like changing density and traveling, and like they literally just
Well, here's the
fly?
thing. There are some of them are just craft, just mechanical craft that you and I could jump on board and we can go operate. Okay, now depending on the dimension of beings we're talking about, some of these crafts are actually sentient beings themselves.
I
and
believe that.
there are other sentient beings on board of them that are like helping to operate. But a lot of times that sentient being craft doesn't need their help. He's just giving them a ride, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it
You know,
does somehow.
like a dog carrying fleas.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yep. So
Oh.
now this one here, this is Lasco C2 right here, and you can clearly see the craft here. So there's like some kind of like a head on this, and it's got wings, and then like two little bumps like where the engines would be lit. But you can see the signature trail behind it, and it's right here by the sun. This right here is the surface of the sun, and this is the occulter disk. So he's pretty close.
Yeah, it looks like he's real close. Like compared just to to my eyes.
Yep.
I don't really know much about these monitoring systems, but I've learned more than the average person by a long way just from watching your channels.
Yep.
But
And
I could tell.
this one here is Lasco C3. Now once again, here's the date and timestamp. And here's a guy right here. You can see there's like it, and some of these look like birds. Like I'm not even gonna joke. There's like a head here right by the thumb, and then you got your wings, and then your tail, and then like his little trail, a little fla la 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 coming out behind him. I don't know what I don't know what else to call it, but fla la la.
Right.
And
Yeah, I
then
don't, that's blah, 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 that's about as good as you could come up with. I mean,
yeah, and then
it,
this right here again. This is the occulter disc that's holding the occulter in place. The occulter disc. So this is the arm of it.
it
Now
just sounds crazy.
these next two, these are mine. Okay, I'm pretty sure that yeah. Okay, so this was in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. I was outside and I looked up and I'm like, what in the world is
Right.
that? That cloud formation is perfectly round. Now the ship is actually right here. Okay, you can see the dip down in the cloud. You can see it kind of comes down in the cloud here, but you can see the cloud out in front of it. So if you remember the movie Independence Day, and by the way, they tell us crap in movies all the time. You know the that big round mothership. You know what we would think is a mothership really isn't. Comes out of these clouds. It produces the clouds and then comes out of it. Well, that's kind of what's going on here. Now, and some people, oh, you're nuts. Well, no, because on the same day in Broken Arrow, when I took this photo, I was like, I wonder if this thing will pop up on radar. And I went to the Weather Channel app and I looked it up, and sure enough, at that exact moment in time, look at this. Here it was right here. This is where I was at the time, and this is where it was at. Well, this is where I thought I was in Owasso, but I was actually down here in Broken Arrow. And here it is, right here up on radar.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like you don't even have to say like about sounding nuts or anything. Like, because last night I pointed a cloud out on my screen that didn't even look anything uniform like that with the edge or anything. And I said personally, my opinion was that it was a cloak craft. But also on my TikTok, I'm gonna do a shameless plug real quick. I wasn't planning to, but you just mentioned the movie Independence Day. Actually, on the 4th of July this year, this past 4th of July, I uploaded the clip from the movie Independence Day when the ship comes out of the cloud and like everybody's like looking up at it and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what even compelled me to do that, but I literally recorded it from my phone on the TV, and it looked like that cloud when it came out of it. It looked like that shape, like that's what it looks like.
Right. So yeah, so they do hide in the clouds, and you got to understand they have cloaking technology. We have cloaking
Right.
technology. You can actually YouTube search how to make a, a, a camouflage shield, or how to how to make a cloaking shield, and you can actually you can actually buy the materials to make this stuff yourself, folks. It's literally
I
you can
believe it.
search it. So if we can do that, what kind of technology do you think they got? They can actually project the hologram of bending light. In fact, Borg cubes, they're, believe it or not, Borg cubes,
Oh yeah,
there
there you
are
go.
Borg cubes. They're very real. I mean, look at Mecca, the Muslims. They go around a gigantic Borg cube in a counterclockwise thing all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, they tell us stuff in movies all the time.
So you think
So
the counterclockwise is them giving their power up, like they're fueling probably a cube up in the air. It's not like a different like. You think the cubes are? Because I've seen you show them a million times. That they're there. They're right in front of. Just like the ones are shaped like a triangle, probably a pyramid, and you explained recently on Rise Above. Anybody types in the search bar, just type in Rise Above Jacob of Ephraim. The video will come up because I've searched it that way to get back to it. So
yeah,
you mentioned about the three. There's like three. I don't want to mess it up how you explain it, but there's something on like the points of it because we see it as like some of them as like a triangle, and then there's like three circles like on the edges or something like that on the points. I don't want to. I don't
Yeah.
want to miss words.
Yeah, no, yeah, I've actually shown that one before as well. I think it was on Rise Above. I actually shown that one. Um,
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I just tried to kind of shamelessly plug that in too, because anybody listening to this, I think, would be extremely interested in that whole entire interview.
oh yeah,
Rise Above Jacob of Ephraim, it'll come up if you type that in, because they put Jacob of Ephraim in the title. So if you type in Jacob of Ephraim and Rise Above together in the search bar, it'll come up.
yep. And I actually pop in at like 40-minute mark. But here again, we're looking
Yeah,
at Lasco C3, and you can see the arrow here. You can see there's a little head here, and there's wings, and there's a tail, just like a flipping bird.
there's a lot of angel symbolism. There's a lot of hominoids with wing
Yeah.
symbolism.
Now you got to think about this. Put yourself back 10,000 years ago. You're going to paint or talk about or sculpt what you think you're seeing because you can't comprehend what's really happening. 10,000 years ago. I mean, good grievy.
And think about the importance of like angel statues and like angel murals and stuff like this, how concreted it is into modern day society. When this stuff was being developed, it must have been of great interest. Those people must have really seen something that was like that for them to care so much to for it to be preserved and for us all to just to have it. It's in our face everywhere. You can't like think of the word angel without picturing like a hominoid with wings, like a human hominoid with wings. So I think it's possible that some of these beings are they come they might be transforming when they come into the earth to be more hominoid, but I don't know. I think that's the form that some kind of light beings take the form to resemble us, but they have like wings or something. Like I kind of believe that they're just real, and we always think that it's fiction, but that's just because nobody has seen one. Well, no one has publicly really proven that they've seen one recently in
Right.
any modern.
Now here's one of the other things. Check this out. You got this one here. You can see the down in the corner. This is Lasco C3 again. Again, this was May 25th, 2021 at 13:54. So you notice the time here, right? Now look at the time of this one before, 13:30. Same day, 13:30,
Huh.
13:54, 24 minutes later. So he was actually here and then he got closer and then like did a U-turn and now he's going back the opposite direction.
See, there's something conscious about this. The way that these things are moving around, it's just not random. There's nothing random about what you show with these. That's my whole point. Why I wanted to get you on here and just kind of get it onto my channel too, because I just feel like it needs energy put into it. Because when consciousness is involved, the way that we're going to get the information relayed to us is by we put energy into it and we speak into it, and then it'll come. So that's
Oh yeah.
why I'm just trying to get anybody with eyes or ears out there to look and listen. Like, these things are here. Like, I don't have no good, like, I don't have like some kind of great explanation or anything. I can't sit here and talk over you because I just wanted to say like this is why I wanted to do this right now, because I feel like the energy has to be put into this. People have to be curious and see it and be like, what is that? And then
Right.
when enough
Now
consciousness is
what are we
being
looking at here, Justin? What do you see? What are you seeing?
yeah, they took that exact cube up out of Mecca and put it up there. It looks
There's the
exactly.
Borg cubes right there. Now, this right here, the one on the left in blue is EIT 171 angstroms of light on April 29th, 2013. Almost 9 years later to the day is 284 angstroms of light. Again, this is satellite EIT 284, April 17th, 2022. You can go on there, you can zoom right in on the surface of the sun, and you can see these. Now look at this. If this was like computer imagery, now these look at these. See how small these pixels are? Super small. But look at how the plasma covers over. I mean, you can see the different shades of the plasma covering over the cube, and this one and in this one. So they're either going in the sun or coming out of the sun. I don't know. I don't know if they're both going in, both going out, one in, one out. I couldn't tell you. But either way, they are literally at the surface of the sun and they're not scorching to death. They're not burning up.
And I mean, personally, I know that you have gone into talking about it and stuff, but I personally have some thoughts and beliefs that our sun is some kind of a like Stargate or however, like something. I think that these things all flying around, they're not staying just where you're catching them at. They're going to completely other worlds and stuff, and that's their in between places. When you're seeing them, that's when they're in between these maybe higher dimensions or whatever. This is all my opinion. I'm not speaking for anybody or anything like that, but I think that they're definitely they've got intent, consciousness. Like it's not random. I just trying to make sure that I did my best to put some energy into it
Oh yeah.
and it up
Now the
because
other thing that we got to not just are we looking at here, and I'm associating this to Borg cubes like we're seeing in Star Trek, and again I already made the tie to Mecca. Anybody can go on YouTube or not YouTube, but Google or DuckDuckGo, whatever search engine, and you can put in archangel statues at Hoover Dam, and you're going to see two archangels with their wings pointed straight up, and they're sitting on Borg cubes.
oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's one of my Hoover Dam videos that I did. And then also, if you think about this, the movie Transformers, the first one, they had the Allspark. It was a giant freaking black cube. And then you've got
Hmm.
these two statues sitting on black cubes at the Hoover Dam. Like, hello. They're putting it in our face.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's in front of all of our faces, and
Yeah.
it's always
Now,
been.
this one here, I took this myself. At night, I was down here in New Braunfels, Texas, right where I'm at right now, and I happened to have my phone up, and I was taking a picture at the moon, and this is a zoomed-in photo because it photobombed my picture. I was taking a picture of the moon because the moon was like a bow shape, and then on the other side it was Venus. So I mean, I was actually taking a picture of that, and then I came back in the house, and it was more dark, and so when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, look at them. I was like, wait a minute, what is this? And I zoomed in on it, and here you can see like a DNA helix. You can actually see
Yeah.
it swirling around like a huge DNA helix mothership right here.
Wow.
So how many people go outside and look up anymore? Well, you should certainly
Ooh.
start. Now this right
Yeah.
here, this is the Black Knight satellite. Some people know what it is, some people don't. But there it
Yeah.
is. Go look it up. Here's another
Very
picture of it.
real. Our surveillance.
Now,
And
the thing
that-
about the Black Knight satellite, not a lot of people know is that on Earth, we're spinning around. If we're spinning around like this, all of our satellites go in conjunction with our rotation. Okay, even our moon.
mm,
This
mhm.
satellite has a north to south pole rotation that goes like this. So, and it does not move. So as the Earth is rotating underneath it, it's just going straight around like this. So the Earth is just rotating. So it just stays in one spot and it doesn't move, going around in a circle, and we're moving underneath it. Think about
which
that.
gives it which gives it a view on everything. It wouldn't have a view on everything like the real north and south parts of the earth if it was going around like the moon or anything
Yeah,
normally.
it
So
is. So it's
as
literally,
we
it is locked to go just straight like this, and we in the inside are spinning, and it's just staying right there. So it's spinning, we're spinning around, and it's just scanning and gathering data.
it's
Absolutely nuts.
certainly there. I mean, I've never like seen it myself through or, like with my eyes, but the images are to me. It's obviously like it is what it is. It was in Time magazine back in like the 50s or 60s. It's just modern times now that they don't let it get into the mainstream and stuff because people would freak out if they knew something like that was monitoring everywhere on planet Earth. But it is.
Yep.
It's there.
Now this one here, this is actually Solar Dynamic Observatory. It's SDO 94 angstroms of light. I couldn't tell you what this one is, but you can clearly see that there is something here with some form of propulsion. I mean, there's no comet or asteroid that looks like this. So I don't know what this is. This is some weird looking. I mean, I don't know if this is a long old tic tac, but I don't know what these are. I don't know if it's shooting up, but I don't know what that is. I would think that that's propulsion and it's going this way, but I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you what that is.
Me neither.
It's
Me
like,
neither.
what is that, man?
But it's something that people need to look at. I don't know what it is either, but it's there.
Yeah, and then here's another one. Now this one's really interesting. Here's the date and time. Okay, and this is on Lasco C2. If you actually look at this, you can see the craft here, and then you can see its
Hmm.
propulsion. You can see that it's actually traveling through the shining plasma off of this side as it's coming right through that. Goes through the dark, goes into the light, and you can see. And this is actually a pulse engine. Okay, yes, I said pulse engine like Star Trek. We have the technology. It's called a nuclear pulse engine or nuclear pulse ionic engine. whatever. But you can see the, the pulses. You can see the little boom, 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 just like a pulse, like your heartbeat. Boom, boom.
Mhm.
Same thing.
Well, I mean, you know better than anybody that, at least that I speak to, that this stuff in movies isn't random. They were either like downloading information that were writing and producing stuff like Star Trek, or it was they directly knew it and they were just putting it in like that. Like some people might have directly knew the information. If they didn't know, they were downloading real information because of intelligent entities wanting it to be integrated into our society, probably prepping us or preparing us for some kind of arrival.
Yep. Now here's another couple for you, Justin. You see this right here at first glance. This just looks like a bird, right? There's like some kind of a big hawk or a big eagle or something, right? But if you look a lot closer, you'll see this area right here. It looks like it's almost shiny. Like, what is this right here? Right? Well, next image is when it's flipped around. What in the world is this?
Do you think that could be the Black Knight satellite?
No,
I've
no,
never
it's a
seen
bird,
anything
like a
like
like a
that.
Klingon war bird of prey.
Oh,
Enlil's
okay. It's
symbol
closer
is
than
a
that.
eagle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
here it is
Yeah.
again. You can see one here, and then you can also see it down here on the bottom. There's one there and there. It's like they're like stabilizer booster rockets or of some sort. And again, you can see a little booster here, and then look at here. You can clearly see them here.
That's pretty yeah, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, I never seen these before. That's
Yep,
pretty
these are right
crazy.
here in our atmosphere.
Hmm. Yeah, there's
Now,
also a centralized agency that considers themselves to be intelligent that's got that the eagle on there too and everything as their little signature is the bird thing like that too. They're known for making
yep.
stuff like that
Now this
too.
one here, this is actually an image that I took off from the International Space Station. Yes, it's a real thing. Yes, it's in space. I've seen it through a telescope. I've seen it through binoculars. It's actually out. Now it's not in outer space, but it's up in like the top mesosphere. Okay, it's there. Now I
I
go through
believe it's there.
images. I go through images quite a bit. Okay, and I'm really looking for detail. And there's actually more than one on this. First one, I'm going to zoom in right down here. You see him? You see that guy right there?
Yeah, yeah, sorry, yeah, I do.
Now that's just one. Now get ready for this. You remember those guys that are in like the pairs of six or whatever that are all grouped up next to each other?
Yeah.
There they are, hanging out right above the
Oh,
Earth.
wow, Jacob. It sure is them too. People could just rewind this and go look and see.
Yeah. I mean, look how. I mean,
Wow.
luckily I can zoom way in on it on my computer on through Zoom, and you can see it. But the thing is like this is why I go through all this data. I mean, this is the actual photo. Now, at first glance at looking at this, you're gonna be like, well,
Oh,
I don't really see a whole lot. But
well,
then,
they're
like,
banking on no one seeing it. This is because, like, you have a gift, a directive to be here on Earth. I'm sorry, but I got to say it. No one else. I don't know anybody that showed this. That's why I feel like this is so important to do. Sorry for the background noise, but they're sorry for the background noise.
you're fine.
They're to me, I mean, I never seen that before. That is exactly what you just showed. People can rewind back and look. That just
Yeah,
completely, to me, gives confirmation that I think that there's intelligent entities going around, probably into other dimensions through the sun, coming from the sun, collecting energy and affecting things here where we are. And there they are.
yeah.
There's
And the thing is, like I was saying, when you first look at this, you're kind of looking like, yeah, I don't really see a whole lot. But like that's the thing. I actually take the time and I zoom in
oh,
and I start looking around. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I think that's one there. But also, there's also one right here. But like he's smaller or closer to the Earth's surface. But I'm like, okay, now I think this could be the Black Knight satellite, just a little more off in the distance. But then I scroll all the way over like this, and actually, if you look over here, you can see like this little blue like partial ring. So this could actually be a lens flare right here. This is what this could be. I don't know. But I actually take the time to start looking all over the place. And I mean, it's like, okay, that could be a little something on the camera, but that could be something. But what really just drew my eye, and I just don't give a crap about anything else at that point, was,
well, you have the eyes for it, though. You know, everybody isn't really. I'm not trying to sound disrespectful. I'm concluding myself in this, but everybody doesn't have the same gifts and the same abilities to see things, like eyes to see doesn't mean just to see one particular thing or to understand something about the it's everybody is different in their own way, and there's an like an army from the source rising up right now, and I think that you're a big part of that army, and that this is much more significant than even I'm trying to stress it without sounding all crazy and manic and everything, but I feel like this is so important, and it's about to get very, very important as far as people's attention. So I
Oh
just think
yeah.
it's
Well,
incredible that you can pick up on that.
funny thing is I don't care if people think I'm crazy. I don't care if they think I'm a lunatic. I don't care if they think I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'll actually wear that badge with honor because I know I'm a conspiracy realist, because a conspiracy means that there's something going on that's being undercover, that's being hidden. That's what a conspiracy
Yeah,
is. Now, do I have a theory on when things are? Sure, but I'm a realist because I know that it's happening and I got
mm,
evidence to show it. The
yeah,
other thing is being crazy, lunatic, all that. I also happen to know to go, not to get biblical on everybody, but if you take, and I love using Noah because he's the perfect example. What did all of the people call Noah? They said he was a lunatic. He was a crazy old man. He's he's lost his
yeah,
mind, this and that, and he's trying to tell the people about other stuff, and they didn't listen. He was just a stupid, crazy old man. He's a conspiracy theorist, right? Until it started raining, then they wanted on his damn boat.
right,
Then they wanted on
right.
that boat. So, come on. Because
I mean,
those are the same ones that are going to be coming back going, oh, Noah, can we get on your boat? And I'm like, sorry, brother, only got room for two monkeys, and you're the third monkey. Start fighting.
oh yeah, we're making a joke out of it, but it is true because you do take a beating. I know from personal experience, you take a beating
Oh,
when you
yeah.
try to speak out and try to just bring some sort of awareness. Now, a topic like this, Jacob, I can't thank you enough for doing this with me because I just
Problem.
feel like this is a big deal. Like this is a big, big deal. These things aren't going away. They only seem to be getting more prevalent by the look of your videos. It seems like we just see them more and more and more. So to me, I think that we're at the end of a build up. We're getting ready for some sort
Yeah.
of
Well, what
fulfilling.
they're going to do is because we know about the Kabbalah, we know about the dark entities and things that are coming, and there's going to be a false flag event. There's going to be a false alien invasion. In fact, they're going to do it one of two ways. Either one, they're going to say, "Oh, it's a fake alien invasion." Oh, it's going to be fake, and oh no, they're shooting. Now, here's the thing: we have this technology. We have the TR3B. Folks, go look it up. We have technology of craft. Since Roswell, we've had a lot of this technology reversed engineered and actually made it better than what it actually was. Believe it or not. But the things you got to understand. So even if there is a fake alien invasion and you're going to see the Project Bluebeam, there's going to be a few that are actually real, and they're actually going to be shooting stuff to freak people out. So it's going to be that, or oh, they're here on a reconnaissance mission to save the planet. So like there's some false stuff that's coming, and it's like, man, it's going to be tough to gauge which way to go. But either way, at that first landing and the first interaction, I wouldn't want nothing to do with it. Crap, it's going to be a
You
false
know
flag.
what? We just have to I agree with you. It's so funny because I just did a video. When we're done with this, go look at my video. It's like 3 minutes long. I said the words. I said we're about to experience a government sanctioned extraterrestrial invasion, and I used the Central Intelligence Agency's emblem, and I put a couple little cartoon aliens on it as my thumbnail. And that's because I just felt like that's what I was supposed to say. I felt like my whole day. So one thing I just want to say really quick about that is if we, and I'm speaking to myself more than anybody, I'm not a teacher, I'm not a preacher, I'm talking on how I feel about things, is if I'm on solid ground, I will be able to discern in the moment, and most likely it will be, well, I don't even know where it's at in the Bible, but it says somewhere about going to your quiet place and just go sit down for a minute while the and I think that is probably because of what you're speaking about, the false flag stuff. If something is divine, if something is from the source, you won't have to go running out into a field or something like that. Like it won't. I don't think that you need to like because what maybe was that Independence Day when all the people were standing on the roof saying like, and then
Yeah,
the aliens
welcome
were just like,
ET and all
boom,
that crap. Yeah, and boom, and then blow you up. Yeah.
right. You keep
Well,
that in
here's
mind.
the thing. You also have to understand it's predictive programming. Okay, think about this. Roswell, New Mexico happened in 1946. Okay, and then in 1952 you had what was it, War of the Worlds, that radio show where he did that thing, and people were literally
Right.
freaking out and
Yeah.
committing suicide, thinking that we were actually under some form of And so they were like, "Holy crap, this really works." That was a
Yeah.
psyop to see how it would work. They were planning it back then to test it out for
They
today,
knew then that
for
this was
coming
going
up
to
now.
work.
And then look at all the movies that have been coming out, that all these alien contact, Star Trek, like
Yeah,
they're
it's
preparing
tough.
us for it.
I agree with you. I agree, and I personally believe like just you know they just I'm gonna be careful. I just because I know how words get triggered. I've gotten some strikes speaking on just not even saying anything much, just kind of using little clips of him. But the former president Marfugo calls him the T man, so now everybody knows what I'm talking about. I'm sure everyone knows by now that they just raided Mar-a-Lago. To me, I think we need to get some water and stuff in our houses, some water and some canned food. To me, I don't know what it means, but that's some kind of signal. I just feel like people, if you don't have some stored up, sealed water, jugs, cases and cases of bottled water, and some canned food, now is the time
Now,
to go
on
get it.
on that subject, I do want to mention one thing, folks. This video needs to be shared for this one statement I'm going to make alone right here. Check all of your ingredients and all the fine print on the back of all of a bunch of processed foods. They're starting to put this little thing on there called bioengineered organisms right on the stinking labels of all kinds of
Are
food.
you
And like,
kidding me?
it will blow your, start reading like your your
It
your
says that,
yeah, your coffee
but
creamers. Yeah, check coffee make, different coffee creamers. Check out your like Cheez-Its, your different kind of like little snacks.
oh
Just start
no.
literally looking at the ingredients. You will see it right on there. Just read all of the word, every single word. Start read them, and you'll find them. You'll go, holy, like it's all over the place now, dude.
That is insane. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
I have not heard that yet. That was the
Hold on,
first
hold on,
thing.
hold on, just a second. Hold on. Okay, this is a creamer, folks, right out of the fridge, and this was just fine. Now I don't use this. In fact, the other nobody else here. It's just kind of been sitting in there for a while. But literally, right here above my finger, it clearly says. Now it's probably backwards, but it says bioengineered source.
That is insane. What is that? That doesn't sound like something that you could put on a label. Are they
I,
trying to get us to wake up? Are they
they,
trying to
they,
wake us
they,
up?
here's the thing. They have to tell you. They have to disclose it. That's the laws of the universe. They have to tell you and put it in your face. But here's the thing. Dude, it's so small and just among the small. Nobody reads the little stuff. Nobody reads the fine. Folks, read the
I
fine
don't
print
either.
on every. Same thing with the Bible. Read the fine print. Back up for a minute and start reading the Bible and think every single God that's in there is an alien being. And then go read it again and you'll go, holy crap, because now you're going to read it from a whole different perspective and go, whoa, because that's what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of shocking whenever you realize that. It is when you start realizing what the word God is really is in place of these individuals, and a lot of times like who it is and what they were really about and stuff. And it's just like it doesn't mean that there's not a creator. That doesn't. To me, I believe that there is a loving creator and
Oh, there
stuff.
absolutely is. There 100% is.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we're being duped by these ancient alien beings or extraterrestrial beings that come down posing as gods because they're larger than we are, faster, stronger, smarter technology that we couldn't comprehend 10, 20, or 100 and 200,000 years ago. We couldn't comprehend it. So, oh, they're gods. Well, even here on this planet, there are indigenous tribes of people on islands that the U.S. actually visited back in 1967 with planes and like actually with helicopters and planes landed on the beach. And next thing you know, they're literally making mockeries of the planes and helicopters and literally just like they're gods.
Yeah,
Same thinking,
worshiping them.
same kind of concept.
That
It's what happens. So
the
we
gig is up
gotta
though.
understand that.
The gig is up though. I
Yep.
know it doesn't look like it yet because of like the masses behavior and the division and the lack of love that seems to be expressed right now. But the fact that me and you are having this conversation at this moment, and the fact that a lot of conversations that we've had and you've had with people and just videos that you've made shows the gig is up, Jacob. It just hasn't played out yet. The gig is up.
Yep.
Now, regardless if they feel like that they have the ability to do something to stop people, and just by they, I just mean spiritual powers of the world. I don't even really know how to describe they. But if they feel like that they could do something to like physically stop me from making the next video I'm about to make or something, then so be it. I'm not concerned if they have to cheat to win. It doesn't seem like they could just do that, or they would just shut us up. They would just disconnect us from the internet right now
Yep.
because this is obvious. The things in
And
this
that's
video,
the thing. That's the thing is that they have to prophets have to be allowed to speak, just like in the Bible.
yeah,
They have to be. So in a sense, in a prophet, and here's the thing: I'm not saying prophet like we're some great holy person by any means. But if you actually start breaking down words and start having a comprehension of what words mean, how they were formed, and what they meant back then, a prophet is just a messenger.
mhm,
That's it. So
yeah.
by me bringing you guys this message, that makes me a prophet of the UFOs and the stuff that is going on, the stuff that I'm solar weather, that kind of thing. Even with the Bible, I'm being a prophet. I'm prophesying to you what I'm seeing and what these things are. Whether you want to call me a crazy old man or not, but I guarantee you're going to want to get on my boat when it starts raining.
Hey, I ain't calling you crazy. I just want to witness and help point it out with you. I'm just
No, I
witnessing
know.
it.
No,
Hey,
I'm
Jacob.
speaking to other people that what might be watching this. So it's like you got, and honestly, there's two people that I would recommend people watch. One of them is Paul Wallace, the Fifth Kind. Paul Wallace is a really very humble, good guy, and he ties it together in a very kind manner. You can really sense his aura, and he's a very good, genuine, loving being. And he used to be trained by the Vatican on ancient scriptural texts, and he would actually help bishops and priests to decipher what the Bible was actually saying. He used to teach this stuff, and then when he started really getting into it, he's like, then he actually backed away from the church and backed away from the narrative crap that they were doing. And he had access to the Vatican libraries underneath with all that. Like he was up in the stuff, and so he knows what's happening here. So, and
Yeah.
the other one is Billy Carson. Now, I'm going to tell you. Now, for those of you who don't know, Billy Carson, very, very well educated, smart guy. However, he's not polite. He's not going to dance softly with the general. He's one of those. He's in your face, telling you the facts, and he don't care about your feelings. But he's smart enough where he can kind of get away with it, where he can kind of be a little arrogant and get away with it because you know that he knows what he's talking about. He's been studying this stuff since he was 7.
Oh, Billy's
Like,
a sharp guy.
yeah, so those two
Yeah.
people definitely. Oh, and Eric Van Doniken, he's another really good one. Again, came from the Catholic Church, Catholic faith. Absolutely go watch those three. Anything out of those three guys, go watch.
Yeah, that those the only one that I need to do more homework on is the first one, Billy and Eric Von Daniken. I know that the what was it called? The fifth kind
The
is
fifth
the what
kind.
they
Yep, the
said.
fifth kind. Yep,
I,
Paul Wallace, the fifth kind.
you already told me. I actually went subscribed and haven't gone to his channel yet, but I've actually seen new uploads and clicked on them. And I'm not a very good YouTube viewer in recent months. But
Yep. Now another good one, and some people are kind of like, oh, well, believe it or not, Stephen Greer, and he's been doing this stuff for a long time, and trying to expose the truth, and he's finally getting some stinking credibility. Where I mean, they've tried shutting him down, they've tried seizing his bank accounts. I mean, he has literally gone through hell just trying
I
to
don't know
expose the
him.
truth of what the CIA is doing. Oh yeah, Stephen Greer. Oh yeah, one
I
hundred
will
percent.
know after this. I'll know after this. But yeah, I don't know him.
Oh yeah, he actually does contact. Like he takes groups out in different areas for specifically for contact, and they get
Wow.
contact all the time. They have beings that appear off in the shadows, and they'll just kind of appear and just kind of look around like hi. And sometimes you'll see crafts flying around, and then all of a sudden, and literally like 2 or 3 times on some I've watched it, like oh look, there's one over there, and they'll take a laser and they'll kind of shine a laser, and then all of a sudden it'll go boo, and it gets really bright, and they're like,
Get
and
a
then
reaction.
I kid you not, Stephen Gurr, every time he's like, you watch, and within 5 minutes, you're going to see helicopters, you're going to hear jets. And sure enough, within 5 minutes, you hear the helicopters, and all of a sudden they take off, and it's like, dude, he's like, they do this all the time.
Oh, it's a game with them. It's a game. Them guys that are sending them helicopters out, they're playing cat with a mouse that's 10 times smarter than it, or a million times
10 times
smarter.
smarter and faster and strong. Is like, why would you even send that's like sending an ant to go squish me. It's like, yeah, right. Get out of here.
That's like the cops taking off on a skateboard to run a guy down in a Lamborghini. Just let him go. Just act like you didn't see it because you got no chance. Just look at how these things move.
Yep.
But I can't say if anybody if you're seeing this on Jacob's channel or my channel, please just comment and just give your opinion. No matter if you know nothing about anything. I'm not an expert in anything, but just comment and please just out of my own curiosity, tell me what you think by the multiple different, I mean, I don't know any other word to use, but craft like these objects that you showed, and watch this video multiple times and please share it out. It's important. It really is. We have to put focus towards the things that Jacob is showing. It's very important. I've slacked myself, and I will make sure that the energy is put there on my end. And I want to always make sure that I express that this is not my information, and I just want to get people to put some energy, some attention into the things that you're showing, because I think once you get some backup, we'll get some answers for the things that you're showing. I think that that's kind of how it works. I think you,
Absolutely. And the
oh,
other thing is, folks, put these down.
oh,
Go outside and look up. You can see them during the daytime. You can see them at nighttime. You just got to pay attention and actually know what you're looking at. You see something like, oh, what is that? And then learn to, oh, wait, that's an airplane. Learn to identify what an airplane is. Or, oh, hey, that's a helicopter, and you can hear it. Start learning to identify what's going on at nighttime, because that's when they come out the most, because they know they can hide under the cover at night. You can see them going
yeah.
in and out of clouds sometimes. I mean, I can't be everywhere to know exactly where they're at, but I'm also paying attention too.
Well,
So,
this should, hearing you and seeing you show this today should pique some curiosities a little bit and make people say, "Oh yeah, well the sky's above me too." I'm not going to muddy the waters up or drag it out on here, but I have had some amazing type of just seeing moving lights pretty much recently in the sky when I was at my family's place. There's no street lights, there's no lights around. It was crazy getting to be out there those days and look at the sky like that. But my phone actually wouldn't even pick up most things. I ended up, like you said, not even carrying the phone with me. I would just, have me a bowl pack and go out, sit in the yard barefoot at middle of like midnight, and just sit up and just sit in the grass and be in the pitch black. And also, I have some Sasquatch content coming soon. There's some audio anomalies coming from the woods. It could be anything. I'm not gonna go on about it, but I think that there's some strangeness going on. I just feel like everything in our whole world is more open. Like things are possible now that wasn't possible in the past. I'm not exactly sure why. It could be an update in the reality or whatever, but things are just not the same, at least not to me now. So I
yep.
just I want to thank you again, Jacob, because this is insane. It really is. Like I can't wrap my mind around really what I'm looking at. That's why I want to just make other people comment and say, "What is that?"
Oh
Because
yeah,
I
yeah. It's
I
it's
don't
it's
I can't
definitely
wrap my
something we have
mind
to
around it.
pay attention to, and that's the thing. So many people are looking down, like there are friends of mine that I've been with, and they're outside like, oh my gosh, look at that! What is that light? And I look at them like, oh, that's an airplane. Like, are you no, no, it's not. I'm like, yeah, it's an airplane. You can see the blinking. Like, I can look at it and identify it right off the gate, because I know the flash. I know there's a red. I know there's a green, because it depends on which side of the plane you're on. You got a red light and like a blue or greenish. It's like a greenish blue, depending on how faded the lens is. But it's like, oh yeah, that's a plane. Like, no, 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 and I'm like, just watch. And then after a couple minutes, as it's getting closer or changing direction, you'll see the ones like, see the different colors. Oh, how do you know? It's like, I can just tell from looking at it, because I'm looking up all the time. I can learn to identify what I'm seeing instead of just
Yeah,
seeing that light
well,
going, oh, that must be a plane. No, learn the difference.
it's like that. You're with somebody. I'm getting my headphones are gonna cut out on me, but I want to say something real quick. If you're with somebody that looks at birds and bird watches every day, they're going to be like, boom, every time a bird lands, they're going to say, oh, that's this kind of bird. That's the same thing when you're looking at these images all day, every day, and you're looking in the sky all day, every day, and you're trying to understand anomalies. You're literally programming your brain to do just that.
Yep,
That's what, so it
that's
is
exactly
different.
it. I'm
I
I'm
just,
training my brain to identify, just like you said with a bird watcher. I'm training my brain for it.
um, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut this off, Jacob, but I'm
No,
getting
you're
out
fine, bud.
audio in a second.
Everybody, we love you. Eyes
I
open,
love you.
no fear, and remember, love is the only way forward. Y'all stay safe out there. Remember, you're loved. See you on the next one.